Hi friends, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing this card here featuring some messy watercoloring, as I call it. I wanted to play with this Simon Says Stamp Circle Doodle background. I purchased it about a couple weeks back and I was happy to be able to get it out today and play with it. So I am going to do some watercoloring, obviously, and I'm going to do this on this Strathmore Ready Cut cardstock here, this watercolor paper. I've been using the Canson XL watercolor paper anytime that I do any kind of watercoloring lately, and I keep forgetting that I have this Ready Cut paper here, so I thought I would get it out today and use it. And I'm going to be using the less textured side. So because I am going to be heat embossing, I'm going to prep my cardstock first with my anti-static powder tool and just kind of cover the whole entire panel here and make sure it's good and covered with that powder. And then I'm going to stamp my Versamark ink down onto my background stamp. And I absolutely love using my Misty with big background stamps like this because it ensures that I more times than not will get a good impression, especially with watercolor paper, because whether it is a textured side that you're going to use or not, you've got a little bit more of the safety of getting a good impression. So I'm going to emboss my whole entire panel here with this rose gold embossing powder, also from Simon Says Stamp. This is one of my favorite embossing powders, and I haven't used it in a while. So I thought I would get it out also and play with it and emboss this whole entire thing. And I really do think that it adds to the overall look of the entire background. So that's why I wanted to get it out today and use it on this card. So I went ahead and heat set that with my heat tool, get that good and melted. It took me a few minutes because obviously it's a big panel, and two, since these lines are a little bit thinner, it's hard to see when the powder is melted. So I really had to take my time to make sure all the granules were melted. So like I said, I'm going to do some watercoloring, and I've got my little plastic palette out here. And I'm going to take 3 colors of distress inks, the Picked Raspberry, Twisted Citron, and Peacock Feathers. And I am going to start off with just a very light wash of the Picked Raspberry. And I'm, I guess, doing very, very simple watercoloring. There is no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of putting an overall wash of this Picked Raspberry all over this panel. And I think I've mentioned this in past videos whenever I do watercolor cards or tutorials, that I am very much an amateur when it comes to watercolor. I am still learning how to do watercolor, and just the ways of doing it, and I guess the right or wrong way of doing it or whatever. But so I will be quite honest with you guys. This is my second try at this card. The first try I was not happy with it at all, but at the end result, what I liked was just the overall softness that I first got. And then it looks totally different from what I'm doing on this card, but it gave me an idea to go in this direction that I'm doing on video. So it looks kind of scary that I'm going in with the Twisted Citron on top of the Picked Raspberry, but I'm just dotting it in areas where I didn't put really any of the Picked Raspberry color. I'm just kind of dotting it in very lightly, and it looks kind of well, it is intended, obviously, that I'm putting it where I'm putting it, but as it dries down, it just adds to the overall effect that I'm going for. And then I thought I would add just a little bit of extra color with that Peacock Feathers, and it really turned out really nice. Now, of course, anytime that you do watercoloring, it's kind of scary. It is for me, at least, because you never know what you're going to get. And for a card maker like myself, that I want kind of a little bit of control of how my design is coming along, watercolor is one of those things that is just very unexpected and going into territory that is not usually I'm not comfortable with, but I want to step out of my comfort zone a little bit and try new things. So that's what I did today. And as you can see, my first, go around here dried, and I just wanted to add a little bit more darkness with that Picked Raspberry. And since I did, I think it just really brought out all of the colors of the entire panel, and it really just made it just pop that much more. So you can see how that turned out and how it dried, and it turned out way better than I ever thought it would. So I'm happy about that. So I went ahead and die cut that off camera with this Avery L frame die here. And I also got a piece of pattern paper from this Yes Please 6x6 pad. And I love the look of black and white. Well, this is actually black and cream more than black and white. But this striped pattern paper, I love that with any kind of colorful backgrounds. So I thought I would go ahead and add that to my main piece. But I also wanted to bring out a little bit more of that mint color or peacock feathers color in my watercolor piece. So I just had these 2 strips in my scraps of cardstock, of my mint cardstock. This is mint cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. And I promise this was not intended to use everything Simon Says Stamp. It just kind of turned out that way. But I am just kind of lining up these strips. So whenever I get the main panel adhered, all you're going to see is just a little bit of strip of the mint color on either side and the stripe on either side. So I'm just going to cut off that excess and then add some tape runner to my main panel here and really be liberal with my tape runner and not, not be too fussy with it at all. I'm going to cover this because obviously I didn't do too much water as far as water is concerned on the watercolor piece, but I wanted to make sure that it adhered down really well on the card. So I'm going to take my liquid glue here and just add it all over the back of this panel and then add it to my vintage cream card base here. And this is from, the cardstock is from Paper Tray Ink. Now I'm going to work on my sentiment. This is an older stamp set, again, from Simon Says Stamp, but it is called Sending and Wishing, I believe. And I've got this a little banner here that I cut with the same mint cardstock. And it says, you the happiest birthday is this complimentary sentiment that I'm going to add to the die cut wishing that I cut 3 times. And I am going to stack those wishing die cuts on top of each other just to make it a little bit more substantial and gives it the illusion that it's popped up off the card. So I'm going to take my favorite black ink currently, which is the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink, and I'm going to stamp that down onto my little banner here. So I'm just taking my time to make sure that I line that up really well. And then I'm just going to add some foam adhesive on the back of that to add that to my card. Then I'm going to take off my die here, and I was kind of being careful because I wanted to leave the little technical term is the tittle on the eye of each word. I was trying to be careful because I didn't want to lose those onto my desk. So I just kind of carefully punched out all of those die cuts, and then off camera I was not going to put you through the pain of watching me put all of these together, but all I did was just add some adhesive and just stack them one on top of each other. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my banner here and then add some more multi-matte medium on the back of my die cut piece here and then get that into place. And I thought, since this is a little bit of a intricate die cut, you've got a little bit of, I guess, wiggle room, or it kind of is a little bit more flexible. So at first I started to adhere this onto my card kind of straight. And as I was doing that, I thought, oh, that would be kind of cool if it was kind of curved a little bit. So that's why I kind of curved down the W. And I think it kind of went well with the overall look of the circles and stuff like that. So now I'm adding the little dots of the eye. And again, I was not going to put you through the pain of me adding these to my card. So it kind of took me a few minutes, but I did get them on there. And I got those into place. And that completes the end of the tutorial, you guys. I hope you love the look of this messy watercolor piece and the look of the rose gold embossing. I think it's one of my favorites, and I really do highly recommend it. Thank you all so much for watching my channel. I really do appreciate it, as always. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe, and I will catch you on my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.